Hey guys, it's Andrew Angel here. Thanks for joining me on my video log. Just settling in a few minutes ago, and we all want to hear about the automation and the video log from what I got last week from Eric. Was talking about, hey man, really curious on how you build your house to be smart and the ability to talk to it and have it respond. So home automation, let's talk about that for a few minutes here and learn a little bit about home automation if you're new to it. Home automation, the reality is it is an ability to control all your devices in your house. So whether it be your lights, your thermostats, your switches, your outlets, I mean, whatever you want, you can control in a sense. It's pretty limitless. I gotta warn everybody: don't go mad scientist on your house and try to automate your whole entire house in one shot. Learn a little bit about this before you do it. Do the research. There's a lot of great tools out there, a lot of great applets already out there for like smartphones that let you control devices. I mean, everybody's selling it. There's Target, Walmart, Staples, Best Buy, you name it, they're out there. Everybody's competing now. Back about 4 or 5 years ago when home automation really came out, when I first started playing with it, it was an expensive hobby. It was probably around $5,000 to $10,000 to get home automation. And you have to run all these network cables to your house, to all these panels and controllers, and there was relays. It was bi-directional communication. You used to have this humongous server that ran all this and then controlled it, or had a self-standing server that would control this with the switchboard. I mean, it was nuts. Home automation has gotten really smart, and as the technology has just grown tremendously due to a lot of open source coding, a lot of people getting involved with that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about home automation here and understanding how and what you can do with home automation. So we're actually here at my house today, as we always are. This is my office here, and we're just looking at some cool stuff today. Today we're going to go into my kitchen and learn a little bit more about the home automation in my house, and I'll demo what the basics are of it. So let's talk about the who, the what, and the where, right? So who can use this? Anybody can use this at any house to control any device they have. The reality is that I control just about almost every device in my house that has Wi-Fi connection to it, that has an infrared controller, which is like a remote TV, VCR, DVD, who uses VCRs anymore? DVD, a Blu-ray player, an Xbox One, a projector, whatever it may be. So any of those devices that have infrared, I can control it. Thermostats for my temperatures, home security, so that includes security cameras, alarm system, zones provisioning for the security system. I mean, it's limitless. And it's all run through a little applet on my phone. You can load it through an interface on your computer as well. It allows you, so that's the whole thing about automation. Automation is the ability to control devices from a automatic or automated surplus or operational component from anywhere. So this interface exists in my house that is open to my devices that I register with it. So it's secure, where my whole entire network is encrypted, and it works over the Wi-Fi and allows everything to work. Not to get too technical about it, because I know I'm going to lose a lot of you guys if I start going into that. But the reality is, home automation was built on a platform, and it was recently growing in this platform called Z-Wave. Now, Z-Wave is kind of like a Wi-Fi network. Think about Wi-Fi in your house, right? So when you get your iPad or your little tablet device, your Android device, and you want to get on your Wi-Fi, right? So you connect to your home Wi-Fi. Let's call it Angel Wi-Fi, right? So at my house, there's a Wi-Fi called Angel Wi-Fi. I connect to it, and then I can connect data in and out from the Wi-Fi router that connects to the internet, right? So you guys are all familiar with that. So Z-Wave is another layer of Wi-Fi that's specific to these electronic devices, and allows them to connect to a controller, a little controller, little square box that controls all these devices by adding it and removing it, and then also allowing it to specify what you want to do with them. So I'm putting in my Android device, which is not the device I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to show you guys what the device is in a few minutes. So in my house, I have a control unit that connects through the Wi-Fi. So it allows it to connect out to the internet. Allows me to connect through any device I want. through my computer, laptop, iPad, tablet, Android, you name it, I can control my house with, really. I've customized my house a little bit more, just a little more advanced as I've been playing with it, to be able to talk to it. So I can talk to my device. So if I want to say lights on in the kitchen, the lights will turn on in the kitchen. If I want to say shut off the coffee machine, the coffee machine will shut off. Turn on the Christmas tree light. All the Christmas trees turn on. Lights turn on them. Whatever it may be that I'm controlling will do, right? So that's a really cool part of it. So I originally started in the space, in the home automation space, through a small switch that I got at, I believe it was Staples, actually. And I bought it. It was just a little device that I needed because back in time, if you guys remember timers, I'm sure a lot of you guys still have timers in your house. Timers were these little devices you plug into your outlet. It gives you another outlet. You plug your device in. And when that timer clicks onto the specific time frame where you have the little tab selected, or if it's electronic, the time specified, it would turn on the device and throw current to that device so my Christmas tree would light up. So I got bored of that timer because my big tree that I had to put the timer behind, because the switch was behind the tree and I had to move the tree if I really wanted to get behind there and drop balls and decorations everywhere. So it was a mess. So I got this little device that I was able to control through a remote control at Lowe's originally. So that was my first phase. That was cool, but then I was like, oh man, I forgot to shut the Christmas tree. And that device was limited, so I couldn't go too far with the remote control. So I literally had to be maybe within a 50-foot range. It would turn on and off. So if I was upstairs, forget it. It wouldn't work. The Christmas tree would still be on. I would still be working. And I wouldn't be able to do anything. So the next phase, I found this little Wemo. It was W-E-M-O, Wemo device. And they still sell these. It was just a little Wemo device. It connects to your Wi-Fi, and it ran through a little applet on my phone. All I did was go to this little applet and connect to the Wi-Fi, and it hit on or off. And if I wasn't home, it would still connect to the Wi-Fi, and I could still go on or off from my data on my phone, and it would connect to the router and then into the Wemo switch inside the house. So it was secure. It was going through that layer. So really cool. I got to play with that, and I really got into home automation way before that, and I really didn't get a chance to play with it because it's so expensive. Like I mentioned, you had to have some serious cash to invest into your house, to have the systems running your house, to automate sprinklers and all this, and now it's the bang for the buck, right? So now I've got my house where you can actually just connect to it through this interface, and I'll show you this interface really quick here so you guys can all learn what I'm talking about. I got this interface, and in my interface I've got all my different devices. So here's my home. It specifies my device, the little controller I have downstairs, and you can have multiple controllers in your house if you want to do that. Then I can specify by room, so I've got all these rooms in my house. So I've only got a couple of rooms listed here, but it's all grouped in a sense. So if I want to click on here, I can click on the room, so I think that's my cameras, here's my bedroom, and so forth. So I can click on rooms, and then look at the device and turn it on and off. So you can look at it here really quick. I'm going to try to zoom in here. So here, you can see my kitchen light switch here. Oops. You see my kitchen light switch. So in my kitchen light, I have a light. So I can dim the light here by just dragging my finger across. It'll send a signal, and it'll confirm that it's now up at that level. So it's that bright. If I want to turn it off, I just click the button that says on or off there. It will send a signal, the lights are off. If I want to turn them back on, I can turn them on. So that is automation. And I don't need to be home to do it. And I don't need to be in my Wi-Fi to do it. The devices sit in the Wi-Fi in the house because they're in the house. And my phone can go with me anywhere I want. And it'll automatically register out through the public connection and allow you to control your house. So this is really great for people who go on vacation, who aren't home, who've got kids who come home from the bus stop at 2:30. You forgot to leave the door unlocked for them, the key under the mat. You can now unlock your front door. The kids get in, you can look through your cameras, the kids got in home safely, they're all inside. You can make sure they're not turning on the kitchen stove by shutting the switch off to the stove. So I mean, it's limitless what you can do with automation. So it's really cool. So we're gonna disconnect here, and I'm gonna actually I'm using my iPhone today. So we're gonna disconnect here, and we're gonna go downstairs. Let me just move here. So you guys are gonna join me in my journey here, out of my office, and we're gonna go right downstairs. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about automation and actually see a demo of what the automation does. For a lot of you guys who are curious on how automation works, on a switch works, so this is your old school switch, right? Your on and off switch, right? On and off, all right? So there's your switch. So these look kind of like the newer age switch, right? So you can turn lights on and off by just pressing the button up and down. So this will shut off my lights in the living room, in the hallway here. And I can press the button again and turn them back on. Right? Really cool. Now the automation part of it will allow me to go into my interface here. And actually, let's walk into the kitchen. I think the kitchen is just a cooler place to be in. So now we're down here in my kitchen. And as mentioned earlier, you can just jump on your device here and you can control your lights. Pretty straightforward. You can click on it and play around with it, and you can literally do whatever you want with it. You want to dim it, you can dim it to a certain level. You want to turn it on off, you can turn it off. And here's just a quick demo. Here's my app. I opened it. I clicked the button. The lights just turned off. Click on it again. Lights turn back on. If I want to dim it to a specific level, and it'll show you on the screen once it's completed and tell you the status, which is great because you can be anywhere in the world and verify if you've left your iron on. Unplug, kill that switch. That switch has no more power. It shuts the iron off. You've left your lights on. It'll tell you your lights are on. Your house is getting cold for some reason. Your thermostats will tell you what temperature it is. You can turn the heat up and so forth. I mean, it's unlimited to what you can control. You can, humidity, smoke alarms. I mean, it's crazy. So here in my kitchen, if I want to dim it down a little bit, I can slide my finger across a little bit, let go, and it dims it down. If I want to bring it back up, I just slide my finger again here. As soon as that message goes away, there we go. I can bring it right back up. So that is the home automation in a nutshell. Really quick, just to show you some of the more advanced stuff. Once you get home automation down, this is just a basic video of what home automation is. You can literally do a lot of cool things. If you're techie and you're savvy, or if you're somebody who wants to learn a little bit more about this, you can develop some really cool stuff. So for instance, my house, I can walk around and talk to it. And I think this is what I got a couple of emails on and blogs on about some stuff I posted of how do I get my house to react the way your house reacts. So there's a lot of cool stuff I do in my house here. And we're actually going to walk over to the front door. So here's my front door. In my front door, I've got one of those smart switches here. There's a deadbolt here. And it will unlock automatically if I talk to it. And I control it through an interface. So I'm not literally talking to the deadbolt. I'm talking through a device, a tablet, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. And you can talk to it, and you can specify what you want it to do. So for instance, let's look at this here real quick. So I have an acknowledgement button that it will ask me what I want to do after it beeps. And I can specify the command, and it'll do it. So let's look at this together. So here on my shoulder, I'm going to click the button here. Unlock front door.
Front door unlocked. Front door is now secure.
So now you can see that the front door just unlocked. The phone gave me a command saying it was going to lock the front door, unlock the front door, and it unlocked it. And it let me know that it unlocked the front door. Now I've programmed it to do all that. So I've created an application, a little applet on my phone that lets me unlock the application, unlock the device, sorry, and specify I want it to move to a specific state. So it lets me move it to the unlock state. And then once it does, and it confirms it's unlocked, it sends a signal back to the automation. It says, run the confirm command, which is saying your front door is now unlocked. And I can have it in the cool English, German voice, or whatever voice I want it to have, and it'll do that. So that's one of the cool things. The other thing everybody's asking me about is NFC. So NFC is something I just started playing with recently, but it's been around for quite some time, and actually it's being used everywhere. So what is NFC? So on my window here, I've got a little dot. In that dot, there's a memory chip. And that memory chip allows me to use devices that have NFC, which is near field communication. Near field communication pretty much is exactly what it sounds like. If you're near it, it'll communicate. And the best way I can tell you how this works is near field communication has been around for quite a while. So if you think of 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, bump came out for the phones, where you bump phones and you could switch pictures and contact information. I think that's standard now on a lot of devices. So near field communication has enhanced. So now there's an NFC sensor on these devices that don't go over Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. They have their own antenna. And I can actually program the little chip in here to do whatever I want. So if I have a task I want it to do, so for instance here, if I wanted to unlock my front door, it would unlock it. So I've done that here. So here I have an NFC device, which is an Android device. iPhones don't work right now, but I can literally swipe my phone. It'll make it buzz.
Front door unlocked.
It told me the front door is now unlocked, which is pretty cool. And it just literally unlocked the front door. So that door is now unlocked. So I can actually even go to my phone and ask for a status. What is the status of the front door?
Your front door is unsecured.
So it's letting me know my front door is unsecured. Lock front door.
Front door is now secure.
As you can see, I've now secured my house, and I can ask again, what is the status of the front door?
Your front door is secured.
So now it's letting me the door secure. So that is what home automation is in a nutshell. A lot of cool things you can do with it, and we'll get a little bit more advanced here in the next video. I just want to give you guys a little touch of what home automation is in my house and how you can use it and really get the benefits of it. So for me, the benefits of having home automation is I'm able to control all the devices in my house, whether it be lights, switches, locks, doors, monitors. I mean, you can go to town, right? And you can really make it cool. So in my house, I mean, I literally got devices lingering everywhere, and it controls all these devices, and you can do all this cool stuff and get benefits out of it. So for me, I can save on gas, oil, electricity. All these cost-saving things are humongous for me, and I believe in being green, right? So for me, it's knowing when to turn things on and off and when to really take advantage of all this stuff. So for me, I've used it for electricity. So our bill was super high in our house all the time. So we really just took home automation to the level where we had to make an initial investment. It's a little bit pricey, but it allows you to do a lot of things. So for beginners, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to go to the controller box. As I mentioned, controller box is not what you think it was. So let's talk about this, right? In your house, you've got a Wi-Fi router. It's just a Netgear. You might have a Linksys. You may have whatever. Sorry for the wiring. It's just, I'm just showing you the back of my thing here. I moved this here so you guys see this. My Wi-Fi router is behind my display monitor here, so it doesn't really ever get seen, so these wires aren't there. But anyways, back to what I was doing. Netgear router is your Wi-Fi router. It allows you to control your Wi-Fi in your house. This is just your Wi-Fi signal. This is what you go to your house and you have your wireless signal in your house. Your friends come over. Let me use your Wi-Fi to get on my phone or whatever it may be to stream movies. So that's your Wi-Fi. So that is Wi-Fi. We talked about Z-Wave upstairs a few minutes ago. Z-Wave is that new proprietary signal that controls all these little electronic devices, switches or devices. And all that is we're actually behind the wall here. And that cable runs down here. There's a network cable. That network cable is right here. Plugs into this little control unit, which is the Vera. This is called the Vera. It's made by a company called Mi Casa Verde. It's Spanish for my greenhouse. And all that does is it plugs in here. You got power here, and this is an antenna as well. And it's a controller box. It allows you to connect devices that are using the Z-Wave technology. So it's a wireless, a Wi-Fi enabled device that lets you connect to this. And it sounds a little more complicated than it really is, but it really is just simple. It's a Wi-Fi device. It lets you connect to switches, your locks, your thermostats, your sprinkler system, whatever it may be that may control over Wi-Fi. And it updates. It has its own interface, and we'll look at that in the next video. That way you guys can understand that a little bit more. But that is, in a nutshell, what it is. Allows you to do all that, play with it, and that control unit has its own interface, so it's web-based. It lets you connect to the internet, lets you run scenes if you want. So a scene is when I get home, I want to talk to my phone, say I'm home. That's the command. Then it will go into a home mode. So that'll kick off the confirmation there. It will then send a signal to the box, the control box, to say run this scene. So the scene is programmed to do a couple things, not just one thing, not like unlocking the front door. It will unlock the front door. It will open my garage. It will turn my lights on outside the house if it knows it's dark outside, so I can have a sensor, or I can specify a scheduled time so it knows day and night. It will turn on the kitchen lights or the hallway lights, so once you walk in through that door, the house is lit. So that's automation, so it's all there. So I don't actually have to do anything besides just open the actual door that's in the way and walk in. and then I can have a sensor in the house. So once it realizes that door opened or on the door has sensors, I can specify that I've walked in that door, and it will lock that door within 10 seconds after it's closed. So it'll automatically lock the door for me. So that's what home automation is in a nutshell. I'm glad you guys got a chance to see my house and see the demo here in my kitchen and my entryway there. I know you guys are going to probably have a lot of questions. We're going to make a second video here in about a week to talk about the interface and how to do things. We're going to talk about how I created the voice recognition, the automation. There's a lot of blogs out there already that's doing this. There's a lot of applications that do this. If you guys really want to get involved with learning how to do things, you can do it on your Android device currently, and you can use an application called Tasker. If you guys are techies, you guys probably have heard of Tasker, and you know the power of Tasker on the Android platform. It allows you to control a lot of things in your house, on your phone, and allows you to do a lot of things with it. So Tasker will allow you to have that ability, and you can create scenes and tasks with it. There's plugins you're going to have to get to control the Vera device downstairs, which is also an add-on. But just talking about that, we'll go through that in the next advanced stage. And in the more advanced stuff, we'll also cover cost. Just to give you a quick idea of cost, because I always get the questions, what does it cost to have something like this in your house? Is it super expensive? It's got to be. It's gotten reasonably cheap. Okay, I recently saw a $400 kit at Staples, which includes a front door lock, 2 motion sensors, a trigger for your door, and I believe 2 or 3 switches for your house. So it's pretty good. $400, that's cheap compared to the couple of $1,000s you spend, and that's probably like a small apartment. My house, I've probably roughly spent, because I've gone with the Vera, which is the more advanced, and for me, it's the better unit since I reviewed technology. It's probably the better unit I would use. It allows you to use multiple devices that are not proprietary to Vera. So saying you don't have to buy a Vera switch to use it. You can buy any brand and use it as long as it's Z-Wave compatible. You can use any camera, any thermostat, and so forth. So that's why I like Vera. And again, I'll put the link below once I publish this video, and you guys will be able to click on there, and you can go on Amazon.com and buy it. I'll send you a couple good links to how to program this. And there's a bunch of YouTube videos as well that you can click on and learn how to do this stuff. So a lot of cool stuff. Suggestively, I probably spent on my first floor probably around, I'm going to probably say about $500. On my basement, probably around $300. And on my second floor, I really haven't gone too far into automation yet. We've gotten a couple of the bedroom switches already automated. But from that perspective, you're probably spending, in a big house, you're probably spending maybe around $1,200 to $1,500 automated completely with security cameras, security system, thermostats, all your switches, all your outlets, so you can control all the devices as well. So, and that includes some IR sensors that you may need for controlling your TVs. So when I mentioned earlier, you need to control your TV by having a blaster. So that blaster has to be Wi-Fi enabled, so you can send a signal to it so it knows to turn on the lights and so forth. So a lot of cool stuff. I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered a lot here on the basic video. I don't want to take this too much further because we're going to really get into the technical side and understand how this all works and how you can program and do so many things with it. So more to come here, guys. Thanks for joining me here on my tech blog. Thanks for joining me on the home automation. I know a lot of questions arise, so if you guys have any questions, please ask them below here on our Facebook page. Very happy to have this page up and running. Please tell your friends to join us here. You can follow me. You can follow me on Instagram at AlphaAndrew. You can follow me on Twitter at CarlosAndrew, and of course, you can follow us here on the tech page on Facebook. And if you have any other questions, please share this with your friends again. Share our link, share our video. It's really great. We want to get the most attention to this page we can. We're trying to grow the crowd here, and we're going to be doing some giveaways soon. So the more people you guys refer, the more people we'll track, and we'll be able to share some cool stuff with you. I want to thank a lot of our sponsors who develop a lot of these kits for us to check out and play around with. A lot of technology we have to do. So thank you guys for being part of the growth of technology developments and reviews. Thanks for joining us here at Technolust. I'm Andrew Angel. See you guys real soon.